Now, back to the U.S. and that public park in Texas along the border. The state attorney general defied federal officials who demanded authorities vacate it. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now to discuss. Camilo, thanks for being with us again. Let's step back for a minute. In Texas, what is the basic fight about, whether it's with respect to on the border itself or in this park? What is the basic issue at play here?
Good evening, John. This showdown at the U.S. Mexico border is essentially the latest example of the state of Texas trying to test the limits of its authority on immigration, which, as you know, is an issue that traditionally has been regulated by the federal government in Washington, D.C., not by individual states. The Department of Homeland Security had given Texas state officials until the end of the day today to say that they would abandon this effort to block Border Patrol agents from this public park in the border town of Eagle Pass, Texas. Texas commandeered this public area last week with National Guard soldiers and has since blocked Border Patrol from processing migrants there. This is an area that I visited several times in December. Border Patrol had been using it, John, to hold migrants in a staging area while they awaited further processing in a more long-term detention facility. Now Border Patrol cannot access this area. Texas is saying that they need to do this to deter illegal crossings by migrants, but the agency, Border Patrol, that is saying that this is impeding their obligations under federal law and that they are doing this, Texas is doing this even during emergency situations. The Border Patrol is saying that Texas is denying the agency access to the park even when they want to respond to migrants who are in distress in the Rio Grande. On Friday, tragically, we saw a mother and two children drown in the Rio Grande near Eagle Pass. Border Patrol requested access after the family had drowned, but they were trying to rescue other migrants who were in distress, and the agency said that Texas denied them that request. So this is a legal fight, yes, John, but it is also one that has humanitarian implications.
So the debate here is not just about whether Texas is overstepping its authority to handle a federal issue, but whether in so doing, Texas is actually keeping the federal authorities from doing what they're trying to do. And let me tag on, what's the next legal step in this fight?
Well, the Department of Homeland Security had said that if Texas did not relent, John, and did not abandon this effort in Eagle Pass, Texas, that it would refer the matter to the Justice Department for a potential legal action. That could take shape in the form of a lawsuit. We have already seen the Biden administration take some legal steps against Texas. Most importantly, the Justice Department a few weeks ago filed a lawsuit, John, against the state over SB 4. That is a state law set to take effect in March, John, that will criminalize unauthorized immigration at the state level. Crossing into the U.S. outside of a port of entry is already a federal misdemeanor, John, but the state is now trying to allow local police and state troopers to arrest migrants on state criminal charges of crossing into Texas illegally. It will allow the state to prosecute and jail those migrants on these state charges, and the Justice Department is saying that this is unnecessary because this is already an action that is illegal under federal law, and that the state is again trying to test the limits of its authority on immigration, which at the end of the day, according to the Constitution and laws passed by Congress, is an issue that is regulated and overseen by the federal government.
Indeed. Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thanks so much, as always.